And I want to commend Deputy Breed Smith and her colleagues for bringing forward this bill today and for giving us the opportunity to discuss and debate the issue of access to abortion in Ireland 5 years on today from that historic result in the repeal referendum when 66.4% of us voted yes to repeal the 8th Amendment and to ensure that women in Ireland would have access to the abortion health care that we so clearly needed. And for those of us who've campaigned for many decades to see abortion law change, it was a really momentous result, and I think it showed the compassion, the empathy that people in Ireland had for the reality of crisis pregnancy and the real lived experiences of women and girls across Ireland. But the key issue for us now, reflecting 5 years on, is to ensure that that abortion health care is available and accessible to all women and girls who need it, Minister, and I think that's crucial. And we know that in the years since we legislated to enable legal abortion to be carried out here, 775 women have travelled to England for abortion services there. And that clearly illustrates the fact that, as the O'Shea report has so clearly put it, there remain unnecessary barriers to access for women, and we do need to address those barriers. And I do want to commend Marie O'Shea and her colleagues who carried out the very careful and comprehensive research and review into the operation of the legislation. Colleagues like Dr. Catherine Conlon, who has a long track record of research, of careful research on this issue. I think the recommendations and findings of the O'Shea review are sensible, they're clear, and they would greatly enhance access to abortion care in Ireland. They're very much in keeping, I must say, with the submission that we in Labour had made to the review process, and we had called for a number of operational and legal changes to be made to ensure increased access. And I note, Minister, your own comments about the operational changes that are needed and that you say will get underway, and I think that's very welcome to hear. In particular, it's welcome to hear your commitment to ensuring that all maternity hospitals will provide abortion care services, as indeed they should. And it's really disturbing to see that we still have, I think, 11 out of 19 are providing currently. So that's a real shortfall. And it shows, again, the really serious barriers to access for so many women. We know that not enough GPs are providing access to early termination services, and that, again, is a matter of real concern. So I think we do need to see, and I would urge you to ensure that we have stronger and quicker government action on that. I do also welcome your announcement on the Safe Access Zone legislation. That's very welcome. We've been looking for that for some time. But may I say, Minister, before I finish, to say that there are two very clear legislative changes that require to be made that amount to really serious barriers to access. One is the 3-day waiting period, and in our submission we made the point that this 3-day waiting period is medically unnecessary, that it creates significant barriers, particularly to women living outside of urban areas, in places where there's limited access to providers, and to those who are financially or socially vulnerable or indeed disadvantaged. And as Marie O'Shea has pointed out, that 3-day wait can in practice be a 4, 5 or more day wait, and it's an unnecessary barrier and should be removed. And secondly, if I may say, the decriminalisation is really urgent as well. And speaking with doctors, speaking with abortion providers, that's a really serious, a chilling factor still for medical practice. It's unnecessary, it's not there. The criminalisation provision that's in the legislation is not necessary medically, and it's certainly not the norm in other medical procedures, and therefore it should be removed. So I want to just finish by saying that, in terms of the government amendment, I would agree with all colleagues on this side who've pointed out that a year is too long to wait. Absolutely, we need to see the Health Committee take on board the recommendations of the O'Shea review. We do need to move forward and to debate this as an Oireachtas, but we don't need a full year. We've got the really careful, well-reasoned recommendations of O'Shea. Let's see government move swiftly on these to ensure that women have access to the abortion health care that we so badly need in this country, and that was so welcome, and to give full effect to the vote of the people 5 years ago today. Thank you.